Eastern Kentucky University is about to roar back to life with about 15,000 or so eager students arriving on campus. They'll start classes on Monday. There's a new president in charge of the Comprehensive Regional University, and he's already making some changes and planning for the future. Dr. Michael T. Benson is the 12th president of Eastern. He comes to Richmond after serving as president of Southern Utah University. 48-year-old Benson took over on August 1st from the retiring Dr. Doug Whitlock. It's been a whirlwind ever since. President Benson has attended receptions, spoken to the faculty, unveiled a new logo, watched some football practice, I'm sure, and hopes to head out on a statewide tour at some point soon. EKU President Mike Benson joining us. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it very much.
My pleasure, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Wore a maroon tie for you, okay?
Well done.
Okay. So Eastern did this nationwide search, and toward the end we started hearing about this guy from Utah. What attracted you to this job?
Well, first and foremost, when I came out to campus, there was really something special about the place, and you hear that a lot, and I don't mean to be trite about it, but there was a palpable feeling, when I walked around campus and I saw how friendly people were, and it's a warm, inviting place. The students tell me they don't feel like they get lost among a student population of 20,000 plus kids. The place itself is a beautiful setting. There's the reason they call it the Campus Beautiful. Just the friendliness of the people I found very, very appealing, and we weren't looking to leave Utah, but it was one of those unique opportunities that maybe comes around once in an arc of one's career. And I went home and told my wife Debbie about it, and she said, "Hey, let's go for it." And we did, and we're delighted to be here.
And word is you kind of got there early and looked the place over before you actually went through interviews and all of that, yeah?
I did. I mean, I wanted to know going in, as they say, I wanted to be loaded for bear for my interview and say, look, I've been on campus and I've seen the facility needs. And the night I was there for my visit, it just so happened that Wynton Marsalis was the concert at the Center for the Arts. And I thought, man, I mean, to have that facility in that community really speaks to the commitment of the campus to improving the life of everybody in kind of central Kentucky.
So what has the reception been like on campus and in Richmond since you arrived at EKU?
Well, it's been nothing short of overwhelming. People have been incredibly warm and hospitable. Our kids started school yesterday at Model, and they're into it now, and we hope to move into our home here soon, but people have been really, really warm and very, very kind.
You're committed to Model, which is an elementary and high school there that's right on campus, right? There's been some questions about its future. Well,
and not that we did anything great or bold, we just enrolled our kids there, and people have said, well, that means it's going to be here for a while. As long as we're there, we certainly intend to support it. They do need a new facility, and that's on the horizon, so we're going to work toward that too. But it's a great model, I mean, so to speak, for education, to have our College of Education, and really, as they say, go from right to the research part of it, what they're learning in the classroom, and take it right directly into kind of the practicum, if you will, is a wonderful thing for our kids.
You announced fairly early on a new logo, emphasizes the east where the sun rises every day. I heard you talk about that in your discussion with the faculty. We all know that the higher education commitment has been trimmed really around the country, and certainly in Kentucky with the recession that we've gone through. The state government simply have not been able to allocate as much money as they had in previous years, or at least at the rate that they had. Are you confident about being able to now get EKU on a climbing trajectory?
Well, you're exactly right. The issues and challenges that we face are not unique to Kentucky. Countrywide, nationwide, you see decline in state support for public institutions. So that just forces us to be more creative and to say, look, we're going to go out and raise more private dollars. We'll go after more sponsored research or grants. There is a really unique role that Eastern plays within the system in Kentucky. And yes, we rolled out a new logo, and we're really trying to emphasize that the future is bright, the sun rises in the east. There's a lot of potential for this little campus to really, I think, hit that upward trajectory that you're talking about. But it's going to take a lot of work. But everybody I've spoken with on campus in the community, they're ready for it, and we're excited.
What do you see Eastern's niche really as being? We know they have a center of excellence in law enforcement, certainly, a lot of other strong programs. Where do you see taking the university in the next few years?
Well, in my welcome back speech just a few days ago, I talked about the 3 Ps that I'd really like to focus on: people, our best asset is human capital, and also our students. The place itself, a sense of place and the uniqueness that the campus is. And the third is programs, and to that point, you talk about some of those centers of excellence, and we do. We have some just top flight programs. Just a couple of days ago, U.S. News and World Report ranked us in the top 10 of our online program in graduate education. So those pockets of excellence, we're going to continue to focus on those and do them even better. We're going to improve our facility, make the campus beautiful, even more beautiful, and really invest in our people, in our staff and faculty, and the students that come to Eastern for that opportunity that for many of them it's the first time in their family. They're first-generation college students.
And you announced a raise for staff and faculty, right?
We did. We wanted to kind of send a signal, a very demonstrative signal that we value them, and it's been very well received.
Athletics, academics, some people say that athletics can be the front porch of a university, and we have heard some talk of maybe Eastern attempting to move up in the NCAA ranks. What are you thinking about?
Well, as I've said, all you can do is prepare yourself. It's like being married. You have to be asked. And so if there is an affiliation out there with the conference that would make more sense for us, all we're going to do is stay where we are right now, do well, improve our facilities, raise some additional dollars for scholarships. But as you know, the campus landscape for college athletics is changing everywhere. You just have to prepare yourself, and if the opportunity presents itself, you have to jump at it.
Do you have an eye on a particular conference?
Well, there are a few locally. I'll leave it at that. I say regionally. I mean, we're in a really interesting spot. I mean, we're bordered, as you know, by 7 states, and so I think we're an attractive option for a few, and we'll just make ourselves more attractive and see what happens.
All right. Sunbelt, MAC, I mentioned a couple there. All right, the students are arriving on campus this weekend. There's a new dorm for the first time in many years, and it is not quite finished, Mr. President, right? You've been through it.
I went through it this morning, and everyone keeps telling us that this rain that we have and the ark that we're building in the back of our backyard is going to come in handy, is not normal. But the contractor faced some challenges with all the wetness, and so I was over there this morning, and they were grouting the sidewalk and really hustling as hard as fast as they can. But it's not going to quite be ready. We're going to have to put 44 students in a kind of a temporary spot, but in a couple of weeks it'll be completely operational.
As you know, the university has tens of thousands of graduates who, many of whom would love to see their alma mater do good things. Do you plan to reconnect with that university base?
Well, that's going to be one of the most important things to me, is to reach out to those alumni. Alma mater in Latin means nurturing mother, and there's all sorts of symbolism to that name. And so the strength of EKU, yes, is in our current student population, the staff and the faculty, but it's in those graduates that really care deeply about the place. They look to it as the place that gave them their start, personally and professionally and socially. And we will go out and we'll reconnect with those alumni. Your
campus is, a half-hour away from the campus of the University of Kentucky, the flagship university of the state. Do you compete or do you collaborate?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, President Capilouto has been very gracious and reached out to Debbie and to me, and we're having a dinner with them next week. They're the research one. They do things that we just don't do. So there are some natural places where we can collaborate. But we do compete in the sense that we're going after the same kind of student demographic when it comes to the high school students that are coming out of Kentucky high schools. So our challenge is to present EKU in a way where a student who is presented with multiple opportunities chooses you. And we hope that students will choose EKU. And UK, of course, and Louisville and the other institutions are doing great things, and we want to do great things as well. When the opportunity or the challenge presents itself, do you look forward to working with all of the university presidents of the public universities in speaking for higher education in Frankfurt and beyond? Well, I had my first meeting with that group last week, and I was really impressed with the kind of collegiality that I felt around the table. We, together with Dr. King, represent higher education generally. We certainly speak for our specific campuses, and that's important to advocate for our individual needs. But as a body, collectively, we've got to sell the message about education. Investing in public higher education is one of the most important, if not the most important, things that a state government can do. And we'll be doing that at Frankfurt, I can promise you that.
All right, the students arrive coming up, well, they're moving in this weekend, and they're here next week. We have less than a minute or so left. What do you know about the incoming class and those other thousands of students who will be there? Have you heard them yet?
I have heard them. We've got 2,500 new freshmen coming to campus, and I met some of them this morning along with their parents, and to a person they said, it's gone seamlessly, we feel welcome here, and that's really one of the hallmarks of Eastern, and we don't want to mess that up. We're going to do that even better, but it's a warm, welcoming, inviting place where we're going to take care of our students, and they're not going to feel like just a number. And we are just absolutely thrilled to be here, so thank you for the chance to be with you today.
Well, we appreciate that very much. Dr. Mike Benson, who's the new president at Eastern Kentucky University.